Okay. Well, hello, everyone.
Hello, hello.
Why don't we go around the room and have people introduce themselves?
Yes. Okay, Kendall.
Kendall, you can go first.
Okay, I'll start. My name is Kendall Bailey, and I am on social media as Kendall in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Do you want more?
Yeah, but why are you such a big influencer? Like, how did you get so famous?
Yeah, so I would say most people know me because I talk about the woke stories and just the wild sides of the left. I like to expose woke media, and I also really like to talk about. Well, I really love this peptides thing, and we'll get into it. But the reason I like it is because it's pushing against big pharma, and I'm really big on ditching big pharma and moving into a healthier space, especially being like a mama bear. But I definitely came onto the scene during COVID, and then I also share my story pretty often on different platforms because I was diagnosed with cancer, and the night before surgery, we discovered that I was pregnant. So I have a journey of deciding to choose life and really focus on my pregnancy before doing any of my treatment.
Wow. Well,
But you're in remission now, right?
Yes, I'm 10 years cancer free, and God is so good.
that's amazing.
That-
Abby, what are you bringing to the table here?
Well, hi guys. I'm Abby McMaster. I'm actually from Colorado. And so I've actually known Kendall for about 10 years. We met, she was actually a nanny for one of my best friends when I met her. And so we've just stayed very, super connected. I'm in the health and wellness space. I've been in this space since 2012. I've always been into health and wellness, always, enjoyed the gym and supplements and all of those things, but I was really looking for something that I knew would work, but that was completely all natural. And that was super, super important to me. So partnered with a company that we're going to obviously talk about tonight, Make Wellness, with Bioactive Precision Peptides. And I had heard about peptides for so many years, synthetic ones that you injected. And I didn't know how I felt about that. So finding a product that was completely all natural, again, a peptide, I knew that I wanted to partner with something like this and be able to help people find amazing products like this.
Okay. And Wes, you're the peptide expert, right?
He's a peptide king. I just said queen, king.
In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, Yeah, my name's Wes Bewley. I'm from Austin, Texas. I've got 2 boys. I'm married, been married for 16 years. Being a dad was actually my biggest dream in life. Like, that's what I wanted to be from an early age. So I get to live the dream every day. But I've actually, this is like the part I hate to share. I've done 200 million in e-commerce sales, something no one even cares about. But I've been in the supplement space for 20, coming up on 25 years in June. So I've marketed a lot of great products over that 25-year span. But this, bioactive peptides was probably the most exciting story that I could possibly go tell. So pivoted to this about 6 months ago. Anyways, so it's been really exciting.
I want to know, I'm a beginner. I don't know anything about peptides. One of you and all of you can explain to me what it is they are, what it is they do.
Well, first of all, when I was like always into skincare, I like skincare. That's like my jam. And I remember Skin Medica coming out with peptide and seeing like the before and afters on skincare on peptides on your face, like just on your face. I don't know if it works or not, but certainly people think that I'm younger than I am.
Uh-huh.
One of the things that I noticed, Kelly, was when I've been taking them for a couple months now, I've noticed like the leanness in my face. So definitely like the bloat is gone. And we can get into more of that because it also targets your fat and targets visceral fat. The cool thing about ours is specifically the lean product. Like I was saying, it targets 100% fat, where a lot of these other products are targeting your fat, but also your muscle. And then 65% of that is that visceral fat. So that stubborn fat that sits around your midsection. But again, I noticed it in my face, and like my bloat was gone and my jawline was more defined. And that's what I really noticed.
Okay. So wait, who wants to talk? Wes?
We're gonna let Wes explain to you like what is the difference of peptides and what are peptides actually.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, please.
I'm happy to. And that's part of why we're so excited is, the mass public really doesn't know. I mean, we're kind of getting to a point where a lot of people have heard the word peptide, but I meet very few people that actually know what a peptide is. So let me just like level set with you guys and just share this. Like there's 7,000 peptides in the human body. And so if you think about a protein, right? Like if we all went out for steaks tonight, or, hopefully there's no vegans on here, or maybe we had some kind of a plant hamburger or something, there's peptides in plants and animals. Okay. And they've existed since the beginning of time. Since there was plants and animals, there have been peptides. Okay. And so when you consume protein, right from the start, even in your mouth, your saliva starts to break that protein apart. Even when you chew, you start to break that protein necklace, if you will, apart. And your body starts to break it apart into peptides, right? Then it goes to your large intestine, then your small intestine. And in that process, by the time it gets to your liver, that protein that was a peptide is now an amino acid. So an example of this in marketing is like there's a pretty popular powdered collagen drink, and they'll market it as collagen peptides, which they are. However, when you're consuming that, by the time it gets to your bloodstream, it is just amino acids. And there's nothing wrong with that. The reason why it's significant to be able to get a consumable peptide or an injectable peptide, like a lot of people are familiar with, if you've heard of like Ozempic or, especially in 2024, something that was real popular was the weight loss shot. So it's like Ozempic, Wegovy. That's a synthetic peptide, okay? The reason why it's significant to be able to get a peptide into the bloodstream is that peptides are the only cell signaling molecule in existence. And so what happens is you have DNA that is literally in charge of everything. Your DNA is in charge of everything. The only molecule that directly communicates with your DNA is a peptide. And it can only do that if it's in your bloodstream. Because if I just consume a peptide, but it doesn't get into my bloodstream, it's just an amino acid and it completely changes. But a string of amino acids sequenced just right can communicate directly with my DNA. So, for example, you have these things called DNA receptors, something that, or one that people are very familiar with is the GLP-1 receptor, right? Well, when people take, let's say, Ozempic or Wegovy or whatever, that synthetic peptide, it's communicating with that DNA receptor. Well, to Kendall's point, we have a product called Lean that also communicates with that DNA receptor. The significant thing about it, though, is when people do Lean, the average person in our clinical studies lost 6% body fat. 65% of that was around the core, which is significant, right? Because I've never had someone come to me and say, hey, can you add some body fat to my stomach area? Everyone's always trying to lose it, And so 65% of that was around the core. Participants in this first study continued to lose body fat for 20 consecutive weeks. But I haven't even told you the most remarkable part yet, which is that there was a 0% reduction in lean muscle mass, okay? And this is significant because if I did the weight loss shot in 2024, and I'm not demonizing it, but I'm just saying, like, if I did that in 2024, a lot of people lose up to 40% muscle, or another way to say it is there's up to 40% muscle atrophy. That's a loss, because if we look at long-term health, longevity, vitality, it is directly related to the amount of lean muscle that you have. And in fact, almost every single chronic disease that someone gets as they age is related to the loss of muscle. It's a scientific term called sarcopenia. So when you take a product like Lean and it's able to help you lose visceral fat, which is a major win. Anytime I can lose visceral fat in my body around my organs or stomach or wherever, that is a huge, significant win. But then if I can do that while also not losing lean muscle tissue, no one's ever said that on a podcast before, because there's never been anything on the planet before where I could lose body fat and protect lean muscle. So that's massive, absolutely massive, right? And so when you're talking about peptides, the reason why we're so excited is because for the last 30 years, the only way that the average person could do peptides was synthetically through, a needle, sticking themselves in the stomach or, certain areas of their body, the shoulder. And but also too, synthetic peptides are extremely expensive. They're $500 to $2,000 a month. Now synthetic peptides are not all bad. The first synthetic peptide ever created was insulin, which has saved millions and millions and millions of lives. You know what I mean? Like,
I just said that in my smash.
what happened?
I just got a vitamin B12 shot today, and the guy was talking about peptides because they have a nose spray, NAD, at this hydration I go to. And he was talking about how insulin was like the first peptide. And you just pointed that out.
No, that's absolutely right. So it's like, so just because I sell natural peptides, it doesn't mean that synthetic peptides are the enemy. They're great. It's just that, for the past 30 years, that was really your only option. And the only thing about synthetic peptides is that they also have, weird usage schedules because you have to come off and on them. You can't take them every day because it's not natural. The other thing about synthetic peptides is they, like when you take a natural peptide, it naturally leaves your body. When you take a synthetic peptide, it doesn't all leave your body. And so there's a little bit, I don't know what the term would be, but there's a little bit of a trace of it always in your body. Whereas with bioactive peptides, there's not a trace of it. Whenever it's done doing its thing, it's
the peptides
gone.
that you guys are talking about, they don't break down to amino acids by the time because you were saying that was one of the issues. What's the difference?
Yes. Good question. So the special thing about what we do, so number one, we're able to identify peptides in nature, natural peptides in nature, where that amino acid chain is not super, super long. So for example, just to give an example that a lot of people are familiar with, and I don't mean to keep talking about them, but they marketed themselves very well in 2024. So I'll say Ozempic. Ozempic's peptide chain is 31 amino acid chain links long. That's like ferocious. It would never stand a chance getting past your body's digestive system. So that's why it must be injected. But a bioactive peptide, the first breakthrough was we were able to identify bioactive peptides in nature through artificial intelligence. And I can't say that enough because without artificial intelligence, it would have taken us 30 million years to just naturally discover what's available to anyone listening or watching or whatever today. It would have taken us 30 million years. So I can't say like that artificial intelligence wasn't an absolute game changer in this process, but it basically helps us identify peptide chains in nature that can serve specific functions with your DNA. And so that was the first thing is, can you identify it? But even that, to your point, is not enough because if I just like consume it, well, it may not get, it won't get into my liver or bloodstream as a peptide. It'll be an amino acid. So the second part of our technology is something called the protein peptide matrix, which takes that peptide and protects it. Almost think of it as like bodyguards. It's like it protects that peptide as it's going through your digestive system. It fights off, your pH balance in your stomach. It fights off enzymes and protects that peptide to where it actually gets into the body, it gets into the bloodstream, and it can be found intact and it can be found bioavailable. And we're talking about naturally. Mm-hmm. This is massive. Just give you one example here. We've got another product called Fit. And Fit reduces your fatigue 47%. It increases your performance 54%. It increases your recovery 103%. It gives you 4 times the protein synthesis of that of whey protein. And lastly, it reduces your all-cause mortality by 17%. Now, what I just described to you, normally you would think I must be talking about a synthetic peptide because that is just bodacious. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I just described to you what a supplement can do. So with these bioactive peptides, they're not synthetics, they're not supplements. It's almost like the era of the super supplement. And yes, to your point, for the first time in history, we were able to get a natural peptide into the bloodstream. This is massive. It's the biggest biohacking conversation that people are going to be having for the next 10 years. Like, previously cold plunge therapy has been pretty exciting to people. Infrared saunas have been pretty exciting to people. all incredible things. Child's play in comparison to bioactive peptides. So
I see Abby she's shaking her head and quite a bit nodding along with you. What can you add to this?
Well, I mean, what I can add to it is what I've noticed personally from taking these. I mean, like I said, I've been on supplements since 2012. And since adding these in, really just since November the 1st, I mean, I've lost at least 2 inches in my waist. I've always been a petite person anyways, always have worked out. So really like lifestyle changes have not been drastic by any means. My skin, the anti-aging component has been huge. Also, I mean, I'll just tell you, like, I'm somebody who has struggled with anxiety for most of my life. And never to say that this cures anything by any means, but significantly, I've noticed a huge change in just how I feel, how I sleep, my patience with my 2 teenagers, like dramatic difference. And so I mean, it's been completely a game changer for me. Again, prior to this, I've heard of peptides. I had heard about the synthetic ones. A lot of my friends are on them, and it was something that I just always was resistant to doing. But of course, bringing these in, I mean, it's been a game changer. My son, who's actually 18 years old, going to college next year for baseball, he has worked out for years, right? And since November the 1st, he's put on 12 pounds of muscle. And just yesterday, I need to look this up, but he just maxed out his deadlift just yesterday. He had not worked out for a week because he had been sick, went back to the gym and maxed out. And he's like, he texts me, he's like, what is this fit product? Like, this is crazy. So it's been amazing.
Kendall, you've had a similar positive experience, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I will tell you, I'm similar with Abby, where I didn't necessarily have the weight to lose. And for me, my scale didn't budge. I actually ended up gaining 2 pounds on these products, and it was completely in my muscle because my waist has shrunk. I'm starting to develop abs. My booty butt has completely lifted. My legs are so strong. Can't keep my husband off me. But I'm telling you, it like changed my body. And then also the other thing that neither of them have mentioned, but I know that they have noticed this, the focus is amazing. So for me, I'm someone, like I said, who likes to get away from big pharma. And we have a product. You don't have to get on Ritalin. You don't have to get on Adderall. This is a product that not only will help you with blue light. I mean, there's so many of us who struggle with our eyes with blue light. This counteracts that, but it also helps with verbal recall, word recall, verbal recognition. And it's almost like all the tabs in my brain are not open all at once. And as a mom and as a businesswoman, that was something that was key for me because I was constantly scatterbrained. So that was really helpful as well.
I'm taking that right now because I'm taking the real estate. I'm studying for my real estate exam, and I need that big time. So thank you for shipping that to me.
Yes.
I don't know. I haven't opened it. I'm going to start it tomorrow. I cannot wait to see
I
what
want
this
to
is.
take it too. I mean,
I'm telling you, the Energized and the Focus combined are amazing. And let me throw this in there too, because I know you guys have women listeners, but the Calm is almost, that's the one that's like a pixie stick and you pour it on your tongue. That has significantly helped me with my period cramps. It has reduced my stress and anxiety. It's helped me with bloat. I'm telling you, these products are game changers. Like I cannot speak them up.
well,
enough.
I want to run something by Wes because Kelly showed your product on our daily podcast yesterday. It's out today, and someone wrote in and said,
Because I get about 10 to 15,000 listeners a day on YouTube.
Viewers. All the buzz about peptides are not the pill form; they're the injected form. Oral peptides only treat locally, if at all. Digestion and the enzymes break them down, make the ingested peptides absorption way less effective.
Yeah, they're saying the truth based upon old information.
Wait, read the whole thing.
One of the few peptides taken orally might be BPC 157. It's great for removing inflammation. So if it's gut inflammation, then it would work locally. But if you need to recover from an injury, like a shoulder injury, as I did, the oral form would do very little, if anything. If you're trying to build muscle mass, lose fat, or sleep better, or regulate metabolism, anti-aging, stimulate immune cells, wound healing, these are all injected peptides. They don't even come in pill form because it wouldn't be effective.
That's absolutely correct. If we went in a time machine and went back like 3 or 4 years ago. That is the significance of what we're talking about here. Everything they said is correct if bioactive peptides don't exist. I mean, that's why this is such a big deal, because for the past 30, 40 years, that everything they just said was absolutely accurate. And
She's been doing peptides for 16 years.
But wait, what does it say? I'm not saying don't use make pills.
Don't use the make pills, but they aren't going to do you much good, and they are almost as expensive as a whole vial of peptide, which will last you longer than a month of a box of the pills and be effective. That's their criticism.
yeah, no, I appreciate.
So what's
Yeah, no, I appreciate the criticism. It's just not based upon reality, because this person is not aware of our technology, again, called the protein peptide matrix, that is able to protect that peptide and get it into your bloodstream. Okay. Historically, though, if we'd have been talking 10 years ago, I mean, in fact, I'll just say this in all fairness, like when the founder of Make Wellness first called me and was like, yeah, we're doing bioactive peptides, they get into the bloodstream. I'm like, no, bro, that's not possible. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I mean, I also had used injectable peptides for 2 years. Again, don't dislike injectable peptides. It does get old stabbing yourself with a needle all the time. It does get old trying to figure out what day you're on. And, it's like I said, they have weird usage schedules. That is the big thing here, though, is for the first time in human history, your average person can take a oral peptide, and it tastes good, by the way. Like our product called Fit tastes like Sunny Delight, and that peptide actually gets into your system. It's not an amino acid by the time it gets into your system. It's still a peptide. That's why this is so significant, and it's going to take the world a couple years for that understanding to become commonplace. So I have patience. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I felt the same way as that viewer. Whenever I first heard about this, I'm like, that's impossible. And then I actually didn't believe it so much that me and one of my product formulators hopped on a Zoom with one of the labs and was like, show us. And we're like, but it was a 2-hour Zoom, but by then we're just like, dang, like this is massive. This is absolutely massive. That's why I said it's one of the most incredible biohacking, health and wellness breakthroughs in our lifetime. It is as exciting as I'm sharing with you that it is. There's no way we could get people results like this. There's no way that our clinicals would have come back with the results that people get if it was just an amino acid, But to your readers or viewers' credit, what they typed was absolutely true, 2, 3, 4 years ago.
Okay. What about safety? Like, how do we know it's safe to take?
There is a ton of research on bioactive peptides on PubMed. Any person could just go to PubMed, type in bioactive peptides. But again, remember, bioactive peptides have been here since the beginning of time. They've been here since millennia before any of us got here to planet Earth, and they'll be here long after. So, and again, remember too, peptides naturally exist even in your body. You have over 7,000 peptides that we've been able to identify in the human body. So, in supplement form, using a natural version, completely safe. Your body knows exactly what to do with it. That's what you're made out of. In fact, there would be no life on Earth without peptides. You know what I mean? So,
right. Okay.
And as far as I know, she also mentioned that they were way too expensive and, people couldn't afford them. These are very affordable, especially when you're comparing the lean and the fit to things like Ozempic and Wegovy. I mean, this is absolutely something that, the everyday American could afford.
Yeah, and for people that have experience with synthetic peptides, again, I'm not an enemy of synthetic peptides. I thank God for insulin and all.
They're like $1,000 a shot, right, or a month?
They get up there like the weight loss shots usually anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a month, depending upon what lab you buy it from. Even for any male listeners that you might possibly have, there's a lot of men my age. I'm 42, about to be 43, but there's a lot of men my age that take like tesamorelin, ipamorelin, which are incredible for lean muscle, for repair, all those type of things. Fit would be a comparable product to that, and those
What about
products
guys
cost.
my age, 65.
Man, you're 65 years old.
65.
You look fantastic, brother.
Thank you very much.
You guys
Yeah,
look amazing.
You look absolutely fantastic.
Well, I want to look better.
Well, let's do it, man. We'll hook you up.
Yeah, that's
All right. Good. I got to keep up with her.
no, I got to keep up with you.
How long have you guys been
I don't
together?
feel like I'm like as much strength or energy as him. It's like
Well,
How long have you guys been together?
5 years.
How did y'all meet?
At Ramona Singer from the Real Housewives of New York at her.
She brought her to my, I had a party, like a barbecue at my house in West Hampton, New York. And Kelly was just randomly visiting her friend Ramona in the Hamptons and showed up at my house. And one thing led to another.
Rick, did you know Kelly from the show?
No,
But your daughters did.
My daughters were freaking out that she was at my house. And Ron, my buddy Ron Duguay, is a former New York Ranger. He told me that she was coming with Ramona, and I knew who Ramona was. And then I just did a quick, like, I wanted to see what she looked like. And I was like, there was all this stuff on the internet about Kelly because she's, you know.
So I'm
Why?
gonna start taking this because you gave it to me. You overnight. I'm gonna start taking it. I can't, promote something that I have not taken myself and done.
Mhm.
I've taken so many products and a lot of them don't work. So I don't really, I feel like I have a name. So I'm going to do
You don't want to
this.
endorse it if it doesn't work.
Exactly. And the focus thing, you sold me on that. Seriously.
Focus and energize together. Drink
exactly.
Energize
Focus and
and take the
energize
focus
together.
at the same time. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Is it like a 1 person, 1 month supply or,
Yeah. How is that? How do you get the supply?
Yeah, people just order it from like a website, and then if it's a couple, they order 2 of each, so they have a month's supply. What all did they send you?
I
What
got,
do we send?
I got 4 boxes. Let me go get it.
Lean,
Keep talking.
fit, lean, and
Bentley, I think did we send Calm as well?
yeah.
Maybe Focus and Energized.
I think
Calm.
Sorry, I just had people walking by. Yeah, we did Calm, Energized, and I think Fit.
yeah.
Fit.
Rick, what are some of your health goals? Like, what are your aspirations?
I would like more energy, and I would definitely like to lose some fat. I want to be leaner. I do, and I guess everybody does. But I don't currently take anything to help me in that regard. I try to work out. That's about it.
That's the other thing I noticed about Fit is I'm someone who I don't love going to the gym. And since taking Fit, I love going to the gym. Like my body craves it now in the most wild way. So what do you have there, Kelly?
So I like the packaging, by the way.
Yeah.
Isn't it cool?
I love it.
Yeah. So
Focus.
I got the focus, which I totally need. And so
Calm.
I got lean.
Okay.
I'm all about.
You'll also notice on the boxes they have QR codes, and you can scan those to get more information about each product.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah, I see the QR code right here.
All right.
Yeah.
And then this is Metabolic Matrix Technology. What is this one?
Yeah, that's Fit. That's the one that increases performance 54%. It also naturally boosts your NAD. So
Oh, that's what everybody's talking about. Can you what is this NAD everyone is talking about?
So check this out. I'm gonna break it down for you.
Why are people doing nose sprays?
I'll break it down for you. Okay. So
Yeah.
from the time we're born, we naturally have something called NAD. It stands for nicotine. It's like some long word. Just Google it. And good luck trying to pronounce it. But you also have something in your body called ATP. ATP is in charge of your energy, your stamina, it's just like that the ability for you to just get up and go again. That's ATP, right? What happens is your NAD is if you think about it like 2 buckets, your NAD levels are what fill up your ATP levels, help you recover, help you restore, help you get ready to go again. The problem is, as we age, our NAD levels go down, which means our ATP levels go down, which means our energy goes down. This is not good, right? And so there's been a lot of research on this you'll have some friends that are like, they'll do NAD injections, or they'll do like an NAD IV.
Yes.
And yeah, they'll do or they'll even do NAD shots. You can absolutely do that.
Those IVs, right? Those
They're-
NAD.
I mean, it's, it's relative to, I mean, it's relative, but
Okay.
but even like sometimes when you do an NAD IV, it can be very scary because if they give you too much too fast, you almost feel like you're going into cardiac arrest. It's a scary feeling. And not a lot of people want to go, I'm not excited to go to my local IV place and be like, yeah, let's go into cardiac arrest. You don't really go into cardiac arrest. You just feel like it.
No, like you
That's-
got a panic attack.
It's like a panic attack. Yeah. Your chest gets really tight and you start to freak out if they
Oh,
give you
I've
too
been
much
through that.
NAD too quick.
Mm.
So one alternative to that is to do NAD injections. And then of course your friends were doing the NAD nose sprays. But there's a lot of research that shows that it's actually more effective to do NAD precursors, to consume NAD precursors. And so like in FIT, there's not NAD in it. There's NAD precursors, and they're these little short words like MNM, MN. And what that does is if you consume NAD precursors, research shows that naturally boosts your body's own NAD more efficiently than anything else. Now, if I talk to someone that's like, well, I really like to do NAD IVs, cool, go for it. Like I'm not, whatever someone wants to do for their health and wellness, and if it's something they believe in, I'm not here to tell them it doesn't help them. You know what I mean? I absolutely believe that NAD IVs and the no spray things makes a difference. But if we're measuring the difference, consuming NAD precursors, research has shown that long-term improves your NAD levels, which now long-term improves your ATP levels better than anything. So that's kind of the deal there. So that also comes in FIT. So when you take FIT,
That's
Kendall
it,
was,
right here.
yeah, that's FIT. That's the one that tastes like Sunny Delight. Kendall was about to go into this, but I tell a lot of men our age, Rick, like a lot of people our age don't feel like working out, so it's like, how are you supposed to go to the gym if you don't even feel like going to the gym? If you drink FIT, you will feel like going to the gym. You know what I mean? Like it'll sound like a good idea to you.
You go to the gym because we go
What's that?
we go to the gym at 7 a.m.
Oh.
Drink it before you work out.
It's not a pre-workout. That's one thing that's a little bit confusing about it, is you would think it would be a pre-workout. It's not. Now you can absolutely drink it before your workout, and that's fine. It has a little bit of caffeine in it, so you get a little bit of energy from that. So it might not be a bad, first morning drink at all. But you can consume FIT at any time of the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I always say, take it no matter what, whether you are working out that day or not.
Yes, absolutely.
Drink your FIT.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
The other thing I'll say real quick, since you were talking about how you get that like shot of energy, and sometimes you feel like really jittery with the whole NAD thing, that's one of the reasons I don't drink coffee. And I wanted a replacement because with coffee, I was getting jitters, I was getting anxiety, I was getting a crash. And with our energy product, it's a slow release and you don't get any of that. So truly on all of these products, there are so many benefits. And I would just encourage anybody to kind of check out your link and research these products because they're absolutely incredible. And like we talked about, versus the synthetic version, there is not a match for it. And so many people haven't heard about these products, but they're truly right on the cusp of just life-changing.
So I just read this. So this helps curb your appetite.
Mm-hmm. People are eating on average
I love
600
that.
less calories per day.
I need that. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Not even just that though. It also helps with your hunger hormones. So the one thing I like about lean is like, in our clinicals, the average person consumes 600 less calories per day on it, which is great, but at the same time though, they didn't feel hangry. It's like they didn't get like, cranky or irritable. You still feel like happy-go-lucky. You're just not eating as many calories. So, I mean, it's lean is an amazing, amazing product. If I could just get the world on two things, it would be FIT and lean, right? Now, if I had someone that's like, I just want to feel my optimally best, then I would love to see someone do FIT, lean, energized, and focused. And then, of course, if they're like me, that's like, I want it all, then I would also get calm and hydrated. However, it's important to point out that Calm and Hydrated do not have peptides in them. They are peptide support products. So you're not going to go look at the box of Hydrated or Calm and see peptides in there. There's not. They're support products.
Yeah, is Calm like magnesium, or what is like why is it Calm?
It's got a couple of things in it that are pretty splendid. You just have to look at the label there, but
Okay.
Calm is a powder that you it's like a lemony powder that you put under your tongue. You can mix it with a drink, but I find it works best with the tongue. Maybe these guys can do
I need it right now.
Yeah. I actually take it right before bed. I put it right next to my bed. One thing that I've definitely noticed for some people who, they were looking to lose weight, the Calm actually has been a great assistant to that because cortisol levels. And if people are very stressed out and their cortisol levels are too high, your body's not going to change, whether you want it to or not. And so by taking Calm, it really has helped lower those cortisol levels. It's good, right? It tastes like a lemon drop.
Yeah, it's a good
lemon drop pixie stick.
Lemon drop.
I like to take Calm more like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, like right before I get my kids from pickup line, and I'm just relaxed and in more of a Zen state.
Tranquil relaxation. It tastes good.
It is good.
It tastes just like a lemon drop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's tasty.
What's that candy that comes in a straw?
Oh, a pixie stick. Yeah.
Pixie stick. Yeah, pixie stick.
Yeah, just like that.
All right, guys.
Well, and I was going to say too, because you were talking about the lean. The other thing I noticed about the lean, so not only are people eating 600 less calories per day, but I'm reaching for different foods. I'm not someone who was a big snacker, but when I do go to snack, I truly am repulsed at the greasy foods, at the sugary foods. I really am reaching for healthier options.
It's probably like what Ozempic does for people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But
they're not taking the muscle. That's the biggest thing. Ozempic was taking muscle, and that is detrimental to.
That's why you have Ozempic face and all that stuff, right? And
and your body can't fight disease as well when you don't have muscle.
Right.
So this is a better way forward.
I don't even like to compare it to Ozempic because I don't want to compare bioactive peptides to synthetic peptides. They're different. We're talking apples and oranges here. But if someone had a goal of, losing body fat, I am a huge proponent for lean and the fact that you lose visceral fat without losing lean muscle,
You take it in the morning, lean?
You could, so a little secret. So you can take 2 in the morning and you can actually take 2. The box calls for 2 a day, but you can take up to 4 a day. So just depends. I have most of my customers start off with 4 a day their first month, and then they can either switch to 2 or keep taking, 4, whatever they want to do.
And that one you'll take with a meal. So yeah, I usually take 2 with breakfast, and then I take 1 at lunchtime.
So when do you think I will start seeing results? I'm going to start this tomorrow, legit.
What I've noticed is everyone has been different, right? There are some people that day 5, you're like, what in the world has happened? It's crazy town. And there's some, for myself, truly, I noticed definitely, I noticed the physical, the actual feeling of lean. So I meant I wasn't craving candy at night, right? Or I wasn't overeating or any of those things. So I knew that it was working, but physically it took me about 6 to 8 weeks, truly to actually notice, but I didn't have a lot of weight to lose, right? So it was about that 6 to 8 week mark that I was like, ooh, I'm in yoga and I'm definitely seeing abs that I haven't seen in a couple years, so then it started really picking up to my external, I could tell it that way, but almost immediately, taking it, I could tell a difference in my eating and my cravings and all of those things.
Hey,
and Calm, I would say focus, you'll feel right away.
I'm weighing myself tonight and he's going to do it. I want to see.
We'll take measurements and before pictures. That's a key thing too, because again, with the fit, it's going to help with obviously that muscle, right? And muscle weighs more than fat. So I always tell people, don't necessarily go off the scale. Measure your waist, right? Take a before picture and you will notice from that for sure.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yep. We'll do.
And then immediately you should notice results from Calm and Focused and Energized.
Well, Focused, yeah. I'm really going to take this bad boy because I'm taking that test. So I think this Focus is going to help me.
Got tomorrow morning.
We need to get you energized so you could take Energized and Focus together because you're getting half of the Happy Meal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Well, thanks for enlightening us.
That's
Yeah.
good visiting with you guys.
Thank you guys so much. It was great
Thank you
meeting
for
you.
educating us and telling us about your products and everything like that. You guys, I'm so excited to take this.
Well, and Kelly, I'm
You're welcome.
excited to hear like you said, I'm really excited to hear authentically what you think of these products and how they're helping you.